Hey, it's Carl Willis, and today I want to talk to you about remembering where you've come from. If you look behind me, you'll see a lot of things stacked behind me this week. We're going to be changing houses with my mother. My dad passed away last year, and one of the things that my mom needs is to get on one floor and not have to navigate stairs and things like that. And so we began to discuss if we shouldn't just change houses. And so I'm actually going to be moving in this Saturday to the very house that I grew up in here in Wichita. And so it's kind of a unique moment. A lot of great memories in that house, but also that was my parents' house, so there's some interesting things in there. But where I really want to go with this is yesterday I began to work through the personal areas of my dad. So my dad had a large work area in the basement where he had built model ships and tinkered with electronics and just did all sorts of things, and of course hadn't been touched since he passed, and a lot of stuff stacked on that table. And then also began to work in his office where he's worked from home for a number of years, the last 7, 8, maybe 9 years of his career. He was overseeing the disaster recovery planning for one of the largest banks in the world. It's a place where he monitored, severe weather as a trained storm spotter and a ham radio operator, and so as I was sitting there going through those things yesterday, especially in his office, I had a lot of memories. I can remember as a kid, my dad getting on the ham radio and talking to missionaries overseas and keeping our church in touch with some of the missionaries we sponsored. I can remember, coming in and seeing him working on writing about peak oil, which was one of his main interests and one of his areas of expertise. I can remember watching him, build ham radio components, etching circuit boards and taking a soldering iron and putting pieces together. Watching him build, solar equipment. So, over the years, I watched my dad do a lot of things in that office, and as I was going through that office, I just found some of his memoirs that were handwritten, that he's written out for myself and my children, and I was able to give those to my mom. And but what it really came down to, more than anything for me, it's very humbling to realize that what has been my dad's office for the last 32 years is getting ready to become my office. And so it's got me thinking a lot about the foundations that we built on and where I came from. And it was funny going through things yesterday. We found a picture of my first car. It was a 1979 Honda Civic that my dad and I rebuilt the crumpled back end of in the driveway. And this thing belched white smoke everywhere it went. So the picture is me in the car and white smoke just blowing everywhere. I came across different, things that Dad had written over the years. I came across pictures from my childhood, and so spent a lot of time yesterday just remembering where I came from. And, that's important because it's part of your story. What makes this story special is I'm going to the place I came from. My last big spanking happened in that home. That's the home that I came home one day after a date and told my mom I'm going to marry that girl after my first date with my wife. That's the home that my oldest son entered into to meet his grandparents for the first time, as did my middle son and my daughter. A lot of memories there. A lot of my life experiences coming out of there. Some of the best friendships I have in the world took place in that home. So those are all building blocks for the future. Those are things that I can tap into and carry forward with me. Those are things that allow me to be even more effective in what I do. It's a part of my story. It's part of my heritage. It's part of my legacy. And so the reason I tell you that is sometimes we don't talk enough about where we came from. We don't talk about the experiences we've been through. We don't talk about the triumphs or the tragedies. And, sharing both of those things is key to helping others get through their journey of life. If it weren't for having friends who've done the same thing, had to sit down at their parents' table, desk, office, house, going through personal effects, going through old photos and documents and those things, this journey for me would be much harder. If it wasn't for watching others help their surviving parent transition, this journey would be a whole lot harder. The same is true with business. Hearing the struggles of people who go before me has been helpful to me. It has helped me to persevere when I felt like giving up. Learning from their mistakes has helped me avoid some of those mistakes. Learning from their victories has helped me leverage those victories. All of those things apply. So that's where I want to leave off today. Part of remembering where you came from is being willing to share that. And the greatest thing you can do is get around a community of people who are moving in the same direction you are, and begin to share your stories with one another. And so what I'd love for you to do is to connect with Carol and I on our fan page, and you can learn more about what we do and connect with the community of entrepreneurs that we've chosen to align ourselves with. So that link is below this video. Go ahead and click it, and we look forward to interacting with you in the days to come.